So yeah, everyone just drop a tick in the chat in the Discord. Um, and then yeah, we're gonna get straight to it. So you should be able to see my screen right about now. Wait, hold up. Why is it not even letting me show my stuff? Can everybody see my screen? Right, before we start, one, can everyone see my screen? And two,
Yes,
okay, perfect. Question number two, has everybody dropped a ticker in the chat? I'm gonna see now. I'm gonna go to Discord right now and look. It's your last chance. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check. Okay, yeah, you guys dropped hella tickers. Cool. Let's do it. All right. I'm gonna start by looking at the Fear and Greed Index. Obviously, it's the last week of the year, guys. We're gonna finish year strong and we're gonna also enter the new year strong. So the new year begins on Thursday. I believe trading is open 5 days this week, 5 days out of five, 4 days. So right now we're sitting at greed. We're no longer sitting at fear. We're no longer sitting at neutral or fear. We're at greed, right? Greed, as Warren Buffett said, when the market's greedy, it's your time to be fearful. When the market is fearful, it's your time to be greedy. So what does that mean, greed? When I say it's greedy right now, that means I'm expecting the market to start pulling back, selling off, coming down a little bit, right? We're sitting at greed right now. We're sitting. Let's look at the charts. We're sitting at an interesting level. I'm pull up the tech charts. Okay, we're sitting at an interesting level because if I pull up the weekly chart, you're gonna see we've steadily been uptrending. Okay, steadily been uptrending. And if I pull up the monthly chart, you're gonna even be able to see it even better, right? We've been up there, right? We've been up there the last 7 months in a row. We've been up there, right? But now we're at the point where QQQ is rejecting. This is the Nasdaq, right? This is the tech stocks, right? These are your Nvidias and Microsofts and stuff like that, right? We're at the point where I look at this and I say to myself, we've continually tested this 625, 627 levels multiple times. Multiple times we have not broken it since November, begin first week of November actually, and we gap down below. But yeah, we've tested it this level here, 625 level, once, twice, three times, four times, five times, right? We've tested the 627 level once, twice, three times, and we've not managed to break out, right? SPY has been SPY, S&P 500 has been a little bit cleaner, as you guys can see. It's been a little bit cleaner. But the Nasdaq specifically, right? I feel like at this point in time, we are sitting at a level where we continually struggle to break, and I think we'll come down before we head higher. Now, of course, all we can do is prepare. Again, we can look at the Fear and Greed Index, we can look at Yahoo Finance, we can look at CNBC, Bloomberg, Market Watch, we can look at all those things. But guess what? As I've said before, it just takes one good play, one good trade, one good bit of execution to make some good money in the markets. So the reason I'm saying that is because if the market does pull back, if QQQ does come down, right? Once we find the levels of support, find a steady level of where we hold, where we maybe see some demand start to kick in and the stock market start trying to, or sorry, the tech stocks trying to hold, I will look at long positions, but I do think again from up here, I'm not yet looking to go long. So when I say long, I'm talking about calls for, preparing for next year, end of January, calls for what's it going to be? It's going to be the 26th of January. What it's going to be, right? That period around 3 weeks from now, where I think the markets QQQ will be back up at here, 634, 635. But why I'm saying just watch out for now is I'm not looking to swing calls just yet. I think we're a little bit overextended. You see, we're far from the moving averages, right? The moving averages is down here at 618. We're a bit overextended on the daily time frame. The 4 hour time frame, you can see again, we've tested that level before and we sold off. And we're starting to test that level again and potentially selling off once again. So again, I'm looking for the market to sell off, right? Especially the tech stocks to start selling off. SPY is up there, right? SPY and QQ at this point in time are doing different things. If I pull up SPY, they're doing different things right now, right? You can see this chart, it tested this level, came down and broke. QQQ, it tested that level, came down and it never broke out yet, right? We're still stuck. So Again, I'm looking at QQQ because I think it's going to come down a little bit before we go up, right? There's a reason your Microsofts have not exploded out yet, right? There's a reason they have not exploded out yet. Your AMDs, they've not managed to explode out yet. Nvidia only just started to get active, you know, but it still hasn't even reached the levels where it should be, really, 200 levels, 208 levels, etc. Right? So again, I'm looking at QQQ for a sell off to the downside. I wanted to see it hold or potentially, some patterns like this, maybe an outside bar or an inside bar before we start to head higher. I don't really like getting into calls, swinging calls up at these levels. It'll be more right near the golden cross, right near the EMAs, right near level of support, resistance, etc. So yeah, that's for QQQ, right? Um, Kudos to Spy. Spy's been running, Spy's been pumping, and I love seeing that kind of thing, right? When that happens, guess what? People make some good money, and that's what I love to see. QQ has not done that yet. QQ has not done that, and yeah, I think it's going to come down before we go higher, right? So just watch out for that. We've got the 4 hour candle ended up being, yeah, we're at the same level where we rejected previously, right? 4 hour candle ended up similar levels to where we rejected previously. So just watch that. This is the rejection I'm talking about right here, just so you know what I'm talking about. One and then two, right? These two candles is where we're at. That's where the 4 hour just closed again. So just beware of that, right? Patterns tend to repeat themselves in the market. And don't get me wrong, last time we rejected, we came back up 2 days later. But before that, we rejected, we sold off heavily. So just beware of that. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. We're at a similar level. Potentially there's a lot of, liquidity up here. Just be careful. Just beware. But yeah, that's QQQ, right? So, like I said, I have 8 stocks to watch. QQQ was one of them. The next one is SoFi. So, you guys know the drill of SoFi, okay? It's had a rough time the last few weeks, but it has also consolidated. This is the weekly chart. If you look at SoFi, how we finished each week, this is the close, by the way, the close, it's been around $27 every single time, right? It's been within about 30 cents of each other, the last 3 closes. So it's holding. It really is holding. Now, when you look at the lower time frames, the daily, the 4 hour, you know, you see that SoFi has been consolidating realistically. If I was to draw, look, I'd love to draw, just gonna do it for you guys. And this is kind of how I mark my zones, okay? So after the break above the EMA, I'm just gonna draw out this box here. Okay, this is after the break above the EMA. Okay, that's good. All right. So I've just taken in the bodies of these candles, most of the wicks of these candles. We're in this zone, right? And it's a zone, it's a period of consolidation on the 4 hour time frame. The daily time frame, you see it, we've got 4 candles in here, similar story. We're right around the EMAs, but I think it's cooking. I think it's waiting for some good news. They have earnings next month. So January, there's going to be SoFi earnings. And the reason I'm saying this is because previously we did something similar with SoFi. Um, on daily time frame. Here we go. So this period where we kind of chopped and wicked around 20 to 21, $22. We eventually broke out and we had a smooth uptrend. Okay. Second time we had that was back at $27, same level, similar sort of level. And again, we ended up breaking out, going to test $32. I think a similar thing is gearing up right now with this consolidation on SoFi. So I am looking at those $32 calls for next month, end of next month, right before earnings. And then I think I'll take it from there. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I have high hopes for SoFi, high expectations for SoFi next month. Sorry, next year, 2026. So we'll get into that maybe a different time. But I do have high hopes for SoFi. So I am looking at those shares again. I am looking at those leaps. You saw what Hood did this year. Hood is another one of my stocks to watch for this week. You guys saw what Hood did this year, right? SoFi can easily do something SoFi can easily outperform this next year. Okay. But yeah, just going back to SoFi, like I said, $32 course for the end of next year. Sorry, end of next month is what I'm looking at. I would love to see us break that $34 level. I don't think we're going to see it this week. Of course, that's a $7, $8 run. But obviously, if we see it next month or whatever, it's a new game, it's new all-time highs, and we take it from there. Now, because I spoke about Hood, let me speak about Robinhood, okay? So Robinhood had a crazy year for the growth stocks. Robinhood, Rocket Lab, there's a few different stocks that had a great year. And Robinhood, honestly, I'm looking at it again this week. Now, let's jump down to the lower time frames. I'm going to show you what I see and why I want to trade Robinhood this week specifically. So I want us to do this. Look, it's been a bit of a tough one, right? For swing trading, it's not really been, it's not really been great. It gaps up, sells off, gaps up, sells off, gaps up, pushed. Like it's been very inconsistent, right? But I want to see Robinhood go and test 121 level. Now the problem is there's no key level of support anywhere near here. There isn't. There really isn't, right? So we're relying honestly, me personally, I'm relying on something more steady, right? So when I say more steady, I'm looking for some price action where I can actually trade it smooth. Something like this, where I get a nice def cross and I see the break below the EMAs and I see Robinhood sell off and sell off and sell off, right? I'm looking for something like that. Obviously, I don't know which way Robinhood's going to fall, right? If we come down to Tuesday and Robinhood is broken above the EMAs, come back to test it and pushing higher, then I'll take the calls. If it's just going to keep rejecting these EMAs and selling off, I'll take the puts. But I want to see clear price action on Robinhood. This idea of gapping up, selling off, gapping up, selling off, gapping up and pushing is not really my cup of tea, honestly. What I do want to see if we go and test, the EMAs again on the hourly, start selling off, then I would be happy to take puts. More likely to going to be a day trade than a swing trade, just because obviously you can see intraday the price action is a lot cleaner. Look, look. If this is last Wednesday, right? We went from 124 all the way down to 115. The Thursday we went from 124 down to 117, right? And then and then Friday we went from 119 up to 124 or so either way, what I'm trying to tell you is I want to see that smooth intraday price action from Robinhood, whether it's to the downside or the upside. I just want to see it intraday. I'm probably taking Robinhood for a day trade. Price targets to watch, honestly, to the downside would be this level 114.64. If I was just to mark it like this, here I'll hit it. I'll hit this real quick. All right, just the bottom of those bodies. And I'm gonna mark the lows actually, just gonna show you how I can mark the lows. Where's another low from that day? Intraday low right here. Right, all interesting levels to watch out for. Okay, so again, for me, Robinhood, if you add price targets to the downside, it'll be 117.20, 115.82, 114.58, the previous daily lows from last week. And if we're going higher, 121.07 will be my first price target before I, take it higher. But obviously, Robinhood looks like it's more bearish than bullish right now. As you can see from the 4 hour chart, right? You see a lot of bearish signals here, a lot of bearish signs. And on a daily, we finish as an bearish engulfing candle, which signals more downside potentially. So yeah, that's Robinhood for you. Speaking of, bearish stocks, MSTR, right? This stock has been getting deleted, right? And I love it because I said to you guys probably 3, 4 months ago, right? Horrible, horrible stock, terrible company. I don't understand their strategy, right? Your strategy is to acquire Bitcoin constantly. That's not really a business strategy, right? That's not, if you look at what AMD's, the Nvidias, the better tech stocks on the Nasdaq, right? Compared to what MicroStrategy is doing, I know what I'd rather invest in, right? And I said it, people don't like when I bash this stock. I bash it constantly. Coinbase is much better. I bash MSTR because I think this is going to keep selling off, right? We have gone from 452, 453 to 158, right? Terrible. It's trash, honestly. And I like the fact that, people that keep people are obsessed with talking about how, Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, blah, 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 Bitcoin, this and that. Listen, you're seeing it live time, right? This little bit of hype, this little bit of, you know, this bullish action from, 33 to 523, that was great, If something makes people money, I'm never going to complain. But when realistically, if you want to trade something and you want to make some money off it, right? Have your own strategy. That's fine. But when it comes to looking at what's ready to fall off or what looks like it's an elephant hanging on a tree, that's what MicroStrategy looked like to me. It was only a matter of time before it fell off. And yeah, boy, how he fallen. So yeah, I'm looking at more puts for MicroStrategy. Weekly is clearly bearish. Daily got a hammer candle. I think again we're coming down worse. 4 hours really interesting to me because 4 hours consolidating. 4 hours consolidating. You've got the inside bar, outside bar, hammer candle, and it looks like we're just consolidating to do another nice drop. So MicroStrategy puts are definitely on the cards. I don't think you've ever seen me try and trade calls with this really. I've always said this is a put stock, right? This is a stock which just needs to sell off and sell off and sell off. So yeah, I like MicroStrategy for puts again. Um, Amazon, right? Zach, shout out to Zach. Zach has been wondering about Amazon all weekend, dreaming about Amazon, everything. So let's start with the weekly chart. So the weekly ended nice and green last week. We finally ended the red streak. Um, we finished we closed above my EMAs and above my level of resistance. So again, positive news for Amazon there. Now, when we chop it up to lower time frames, I like what I see. Right, bullish price action on the daily time frame, golden cross. From the last 6 days of price, sorry, last 6 days of Amazon, we've only had one red day, which was a doji right there. I think we're going to consolidate and push higher. I'd honestly like to see it go touch that 238 point, before we reversed earlier this month. But yeah, Amazon, I'm pretty bullish on it. Still positive. Amazon will go up to, near 300 next year. Honestly, get them Amazon shares as well while you're at it. If you can afford a couple shares of Amazon, go for it. Look at the 4 hour chart now. You can see what I'm kind of saying when I say, consolidating to go higher. The 4 hour chart is kind of showing this. Like we broke above the EMAs, we consolidated, broke out, consolidated again. I think we're going to break out again from here. Amazon, I'm still bullish. Like I said, go test 238.96. Go test that level. Um, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Then AMD, right? I haven't touched on AMD, Nvidia, Oracle, the tech stocks, right? So AMD, I like the 4 hour chart. We're consolidating above the EMAs, but a lot of wiki price action, a lot of wicks here. If you can see the 4 hour chart, a lot of wicks. So a lot of indecision because they're trying to push it up, trying to push it down. We're closing near where we opened, right? A lot of indecisive price action. That's what these wicks are signaling. A few dojis like back to back to back, various types of dojis, and a little bit of a hammer candle there on the 4 hour time frame. So look, let's look at the higher time frames. You're gonna see, let's see the daily time frame. So I've drawn a trend line. Okay, I think we break out this trend line. We go try and touch 229 if tech is bullish. But as I said earlier, QQ looked like they wanted to fall. If QQQ does fall, then I expect AMD to still trend around, a few dollars, below where it is right now. But if QQQ does go bullish, if the Nasdaq does run, if tech stocks do push, I expect AMD to get that nice run back up to 229, breaking out of this trend line that I drew here, right? I drew it from the highs here to the highs at near the lows, right? So these are the highs when we're at the highs. These are the highs while we're at the lows. So check out, this trend line. Just see how AMD could break out. I think it does break out, and if it does, we go up to 229. Pretty simple for AMD. Like I said, if QQ sells off, I think AMD probably sell off a little bit. Nothing crazy because it's been consolidating around this area. But if we do run, yeah, AMD go test 229. It would be a nice swing to the upside. I like what I see of AMD. And yeah, that's it for AMD. Now, NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA. Last week, our price tag was 187 and then 191. We broke out. We not only did we, gap up to see 191, we also tested um, the previous. So this is where I got my line from. So we tested the previous levels from back in October. Okay, when Nvidia was running from back in October, we tested that level. Now I want to see us go test 195 again if tech is bullish. Even if tech is not bullish, you might see Nvidia remain strong because as you see this past week, and sorry, Nvidia was extremely strong, right? You see Nvidia what it did this past week. Got the golden cross, got the bullish price action, testing, all the levels I have drawn. Okay, Nvidia could be a nice swing play to upside. From all the stocks I've mentioned today so far, the most confident I am in upside potential is Nvidia. I think Amazon is close, but yeah, Nvidia I think has a long way to run up. We've seen a similar run before. I highlighted it, I circled it here. Nvidia got that, Nvidia when Nvidia does start moving and catches some fire, yeah, it just pushes, it just pushes, it just pushes. So yeah, that's Nvidia for you. My price targets remain 195 as we close out the year, and I'll just keep it conservative right now, 195. I think yeah, January we see 208, 212 if we see a nice rally. But that's it for Nvidia. Next up, we've done AMD, done Oracle. So, what's up with Oracle? Everyone knows they had a bad earnings. They sold off crazy, right? But not only that, Oracle's had a tough year. Funny enough, is we're back where we started the year, pretty much, right? Over back here, right? There we go, January 188, 188. So we're back where we started the year. It is still up on the year, but it had a rough, it's had a rough 4 months. Yeah. So what I like about Oracle though is they had good news, bullish news 2 weeks ago, and that's what helped it start, recovering, right? You saw this gap up here was because of good news, partnership with TikTok, with some big things coming next year. Okay. So we're in between the EMAs right now. We're steadily uptrending. I want us to go test the 21-day EMA at $202. I want us to test that level. Okay, we might get rejected there. I want us to test that level. Reason being, 4 hour time frame is bullish. 4 hour time frame is bullish, is above the 9 and 21. We're way below the 200. So, that is what that's one of those situations. It is what it is. But currently, short term, we are bullish, right? More, we've seen more upside to Oracle than we've seen downside in the last couple of weeks. We've seen more upside. But again, when you look at the higher time frames, you see we're still below the 21 on the daily time frame. We're below all the EMAs on the weekly time frame. So again, you just got to be aware that we don't go test the EMAs and sell off. Good thing is, if we do test the EMAs, right, weekly the EMA is sitting at 214, daily the EMA is sitting at 218, and in the 4 hour time frame, you got the EMAs at 230. So it's there's enough room to run before we get any kind of rejection. There won't be. I don't think we see major rejections from where we are just yet. Um, I've done MSTR, I've done Robinhood, Amazon, Oracle, done QQ. Silver, right? So look at this. Isn't this incredible? Silver, what it's done this year. But look at this. Look at this. Gold and silver are just they're just explosive. Gold was the play. Gold was having its fun. It was the play until like the 20th of October. Okay. Silver, on the other hand, similar story. But silver has just been explosive this past week, right? Up 10% on Friday. Gold up 1% Friday. Both of them have had monstrous years. Let me just go to the monthly chart. Yeah, look at gold, man. If you bought gold back at the, middle of last year, yeah, you're eating good right now. Gold was just $183 per share, or gold shares, I should say. Silver shares, similar story, $22 back in April, April last year. Now we're all the way up at $71. And doesn't look, they got very similar charts. Silver's lagging behind gold just a little bit. But yeah, if anyone caught any of these, these are the contracts where you got your $20, $30, and you just see 400, 500, $600 real quick. Ridiculous. All right, let me go check the chat, see what you guys have got. But those are my stocks to watch. I want to break some down for you guys. All right, so Kendra says Apple. All right, Apple is a cool. All right, let's go to the week. I'm gonna start the weekly chart. How do we end the year with Apple? Apple's got something big coming. Apple's gonna got some big upside potential. Just when is it gonna play out? So weekly, we're still sitting around the EMAs. Daily time frame. This is where it gets interesting. You got a lot of consolidation and indecision in this price area. I've got the blue box as my zone. Um, the zone is also a fair value gap from back here, back in November. Now, Apple is consolidating. It's consolidating. It's not going too low and it's not going higher. I think this will break out, but I just obviously don't know when. I think the safest way, personally, I think the safest way to play this apple right here, this apple, yeah. I think personally, you know, them 280, 85 contracts just for, March, April. Those are what I would look at. Apple, even now, it's down 40 cents. It's not really going nowhere. Ongoing geopolitical concerns impacting the tech sector. I'm telling you that tech sector, I think QQQ is coming down, honestly. But yeah, Apple, for me, I'll wait on this. It's not really giving nothing clear, at least not from a perspective of someone who wants to swing this play. Okay, 4 hours showed a little bit of bullish momentum, a bit of strength, and then it started coming down again. Dylan says Nike. So, as you guys all know, I love Nike, huge fan of Nike. I'm already in Nike, by the way. I'm already in Nike Leaps. I'm in a $65 call, which expires, I believe, in April, mid-April next year. Super, super convenient because we already jumped up $4. And, one thing I do notice about Nike, I need to pull up the monthly chart, right? We've been getting slaughtered with Nike. We've been getting slaughtered, we're getting cooked. But this is where it gets interesting. Weekly chart, we finished as a hammer candle, right? Cool. We're still way below the EMAs, but cool. Hammer candle daily time frame, we're way below the EMAs. We're starting to push towards them. All right, we got a gap up, we got follow through. We're starting to push towards them. Nike, I'm still going to stick with my leaps right now. Can you even call them leaps? They're just 5 months out. But Nike, I'm still going to stick with what I got. I am a huge fan of this company. I'm not completely sure why it's so cheap, especially in comparison to some of its counterparts. But listen, either way, come on, man. Like this is yeah, this is Nike, man. This is let's be honest, this is Nike. Okay? When have you ever seen Nike, in the last 20 years? You haven't seen Nike really fumble apart from during the pandemic a little bit, you know? I don't man. Yeah. Come on, man. I think the best way to play this honestly for me is just those swings. And I'm talking about those swings to like April, March, April, whatever. If you wanna try and trade this week to week, I think it's a bit tougher. I think like that you're gonna get cooked a little bit, you know. But yeah, Nike, thank you for that suggestion. What's up next? Put them stocks in the train discussion. Oh, they got them there, they got them. Microsoft, Alibaba, okay. All right, Microsoft is loading up. Microsoft is loading up for sure. Microsoft is loading up, but I just don't know when it's gonna pop, right? I'm in some swings for that Microsoft. I just don't know when it's gonna pop. I don't know when. I do not know when. And I would love to see Microsoft really boom. I just don't know when it's gonna happen. So that's the problem with Microsoft. Okay. I like what I see. I want to see it. No, I'm sure I will see it get back up to 550 next year. I just don't know when. That's the same thing I've been saying the whole time. Right? I was expecting it to move to 500 by the end of this month. It has not done that. So, yeah, it's one of them where I'm like, okay, I do not know what's going on with Microsoft. I don't know why it's not blown yet. Like its counterparts, Google ran, Amazon, it's had its little run, they've had, yeah, Nvidia has done its thing. Microsoft has just been lagging, it's just been lagging. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Um, what's up next? Alibaba. So the Chinese stocks have been kind of just, kind of starting to show some signs of something. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with these Chinese stocks because I'm hearing some murmurs and you know, some talk about these could be getting ready to blow. So Alibaba did hit my level of support. But guess what? Man, Alibaba is still way below, look, weekly chart, way below them highs. But hey, we had a green week, finally had an inside week as well. Alibaba's been getting a lot of rumors, so I don't know if there's something people know and they're not saying. I don't know what's going on. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't know. I do not know what's up with Alibaba. I don't know. People are saying that it's gonna blow though. Can we, hold up. People have been saying Alibaba's gonna blow. What do you guys know that I don't know? See, it's down right now. What do we people know? Okay. Alibaba rose 1.29% as investors reacted positively to improved sentiment in Chinese consumer market, contrasting with a slight dip in the broader selection. So there's positive sentiment around Alibaba. You know what this might be? And I think it might be a gamble, but it might be something where you just look at Alibaba and you say, you know what? It's got a lot of news around it, bullish sentiment around it. Like, because I keep seeing it everywhere. It might just be one where I just say to myself, you know what? Remember the AMD play where AMD just went stupid over the weekend and it jumped like $25? Maybe I just say to myself, right, Alibaba, I got some January 16 contracts, for like $160 or $165 calls, and I just run with it. Right? I might do that. Just throw a few contracts there and put a stop loss, stop limit in place. But I'm seeing a lot of positive sentiment around Alibaba. I don't know why, but I might just say again, $165 calls. And yeah, yeah. Does anybody know why Alibaba is being, you know, people saying a lot of stuff about Alibaba? I think I might just look at, you know, let's connect the dots. All right. I'll go from here. One, two, three, four. Right. Just again, is this just my trend line? And we could break out, we could consolidate. But Alibaba, yeah. Yeah. Come on, Alibaba. Yeah. You know what? Alibaba's on watch now. Alibaba, them contracts could blow. 165 called January 16. Right, it's only $140, something like that. Alibaba. Come on, guys. This is crazy. Alibaba. Something is brewing. Something. I keep seeing it everywhere. I keep seeing it everywhere. I don't know what it is. Alibaba advances while market declines. Oh, okay, anyway, enough distractions. Um, IWM. Okay, cool. IWM, you guys love that stock. We've been smacking that stock this year, you know. I don't think I ever smacked the stock the way we smacked Alibaba. Sorry, not Alibaba, IWM. We smacked that one differently, like just backhand, front hand, smacked it with the shoe, with the chancla, with the slippers, with the belt. We battered IWM differently this year. It's been fun. Same again next year too. Same again next year, man. All right, cool. So IWM, we got the daily hammer candles formed on the EMAs. Very similar sentiment to last week with IWM. Yeah, red week, inside week as well. I feel like with the market pushing, we will push for the highs. But again, from the three indexes, SPY has been the smoothest to the upside. IWM had a really catastrophic um, day Friday. Um, well, should I say open, right? We went sold off from 252 all the way down to 250, which is a $2 drop for IWM. Yeah, that's almost a percent drop. So yeah, IWM looks nasty right down under the EMAs on the 1 hour. But if you look at the 4 hour, you're like, okay, it could be a pullback to go higher, potentially. It's sitting on the 21 EMA right now. Finished, 4 hour inside candle, daily hammer candle off the 9-day EMA, weekly inside week. It's a lot of stuff happening. It's like it's setting up for an explosive move, but I don't know if it's to the upside or downside. But it looks like it's a big move coming. Yeah. I don't know. IWM looks more like a. I'll be honest. I'm already, I'm already in IWM, so we'll see. I've already decided I was going to swing calls because I think they were going to push the market up tomorrow. I don't know how that's going to work out for me tomorrow as I open up tomorrow. You know, I'm in. I think my calls expired Tuesday. All right, so slightly up. Yeah. I think my calls expired Tuesday. Nah, it might even be Wednesday. Yeah. I don't know. I think IWM is bullish, but we'll see. Think we're going to go test the 255 level. We'll see. So UAL, UAL for me, I think we've already missed it. I said it a few weeks ago and it was at 102. That looked bullish. Now we're up there. It can continue pushing. Don't get me wrong. Daily time frame is starting to build a support level. Or sorry, not build a support level, but it's building a solid level above the EMA. It's building like a base. It finished inside day Friday, 4 hour, 4 hour candles closing above the EMAs. Yeah, it's probably going to go test that 116 again. UAL looks pretty bullish to me. Yeah, I'll be honest. Some of these stocks are already up there. They are already up there. All right, Dollar Tree, Tesla, Rivian. Okay, Rivian first. Then we're gonna go with competitor Tesla. Rivian. So Rivian is interesting, right? We had a weekly chart last Sunday. We said this is a bit overextended, but it could still push. It actually came down $3. Great. Now I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna touch this where it is right now. It's up there, Rivian. Now that the sell-off has begun, I think we'll sell off before you head higher with Rivian. I think so, personally. I just don't know how far we're going to sell off, honestly. It's just tough. When a stock jumps up, 50%, because it jumped up 50%, it jumped up 50, more than 50% in less than a month, right? It's hard to decide what's going to happen from there because, again, our technical analysis and stuff like that is great, but sometimes news, the fundamentals just do its thing, and then Rivian can continue blowing up or can come start selling off like a real, how a stock's supposed to. I don't know. Um, Uber, going Gusto. That's you. Uber looks crazy right now. Uber looks bearish, man. Weekly, inside week, doji, daily time frame below the EMA has gone to test the 9-day EMA. A lot of wicking action again with Uber. This is not really nice. 4 hour looks pretty weak as well. I don't really like what I see with Uber right now. If you are bullish on Uber, you know, just buy yourself time, man. You can get back up to the 90s and stuff, but buy yourself time. It looks bearish right now. It's getting killed, right? It's been getting killed. Like after that gap down on Friday, 2 weeks ago, it's been getting killed. So it looks more bearish than bullish right now. Tesla, yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys know Tesla. So Tesla looks bearish to me. Look at the weekly time frame. It's up there. It need to come down. Daily already coming down. We've got the reversal pattern right there. 4 hour is just clearly bearish, right? It's just flipping bearish. 1 hour below the EMAs. Tesla looks bearish to me. The only thing is Tesla can catch people out, right? The intraday pump up before it sells off. People have been saying Tesla's going to 500, it's going to 500. Look at this. I open every time last week. We pushed, sold off, pushed, sold off, pushed, sold off every time. So it's looking like maybe swinging puts is not great, but catching that intraday sell-off, that intraday drop, yeah, that might be the one. Um, Kenny says she's surprised Nike's got $1,000 stock. Yeah, Nike should be up there, man. I've got my Nike shares and I just want to see them up at 140, $150. Poet, this looks interesting. So I'm going to go to the weekly time frame. It looks like it's trying to recover. Poet looks nice. On the weekly, on the daily, it looks like it came down to test the EMAs before we potentially go higher. Let me see what Yahoo Finance is saying. What's it doing right now after hours? Oh, sorry, overnight hours. It's down another 3%. Okay. Um, 4 hour time frame before I turn on extended hours. Looks like it's on sell off, right? Looks like we've got something interesting here. Got a bearish signal here, death cross. Looks like we're trying to sell off. Got the bear flag as well, like this, right? Right here. Yeah, potentially coming down. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Are you bullish or bearish on Poet? I do remember we was trading this last year. Yeah, you bullish or bearish on this one? I would like to know. I'd say now we could break out here. We could break out here. Well, actually, yeah. Well, actually, technically, isn't this bullish pennant? Bear should be like this, no? Bear should have been like this, and then like this. Actually, yeah, my fault. That would have been bearish, yeah. So technically a bull flag forming or bull pennant. Depends how you look at it. Yeah, maybe. Hmm. So you in leaps, you're bullish. I see it. I see it. I see it. 20. I see it. I see it. It's just tough to get these kind of because these are like the penny stocks, right? They ebb and flow differently, right? We were up at $7.46 2 weeks ago. Came down to $5.71, back up to 7.72. So they ebb and flow differently. So you just got to be able to stomach it or take profits and move. It's kind of tough. But you know what? I would say keep this one on watch. I think we can go back up to that level. I would definitely say this is one of those you can keep on watch. Yeah. If you're in calls for January 27th, you know, yeah, maybe we can look at that. Um, yeah, this could be something. Let me just zoom out a bit. Yeah, kind of bounced off the 200 EMAs, headed higher. And I'm sure these calls are cheap as well because it's a $6 stock. So, depending on the number of open interest, volume, all that kind of stuff. Might not be a bad to look at, a $7 call for end of the next month. Yeah, this could be something. Problem is, you just got to make sure you get the right contract because obviously the contracts are going to be cheap and you want to make sure there's enough volume. But I do like what I see. Yeah. Right. SLV already looked at JD. Okay, Dollar Tree JD. Put some more stocks in there. Put some more stocks in there. JD, again, this is one of the Chinese stocks, so I don't really know what's going on. Looks like we've got a double bottom formed on the daily time frame. Yeah, okay, cool. Hmm. Okay. Look, if I'm gonna trade the Chinese, I'm gonna go with the Alibaba. The 4 hour time frame is nice on JD though. The hourly is pretty smooth too. But again, if I'm going with a Chinese stock, I'm going with Alibaba, but I can see why you're looking at JD. I can. I really can. I can see why you're looking at JD. 4 hours really telling me something about this going to the upside. Daily's getting rejected at 21 EMA, but it might go test it again and break out of it. Yeah, good one though. Again, if the Chinese are gonna blow, then yeah, them Chinese they're gonna do different stocks. All right, JD.com slightly up right now. Okay, Cake. You know my thoughts on Cake. Bullish. Cake. We're going to 55, 54. Maybe not this week, but definitely next month. The weekly time frame on Cake is telling me everything I need to know. I'm happy as I am right now with Cake. I'm in shares. I'm in leaps. We've just been monstrous these past 6 weeks since the reversal. With that Morningstar pattern. Cake has got a hammer candle, the weekly hammer candle of the 21 EMA. The daily time frame, we just closed above the 200 EMA. 4 hour time frame, we're getting busy. Yeah, Cake is bullish. I like what I see with Cake. All right, folks. I'm gonna give you SRV, JD, Dollar Tree, DLTR. Okay, I'm gonna give you what's going on with Dollar Tree. Weekly is nasty, right? We're coming down. But hey, daily, see, daily got a nice move pattern. Daily's like, okay, we came down, we sold off to go higher, right? We're at the level of the previous swing lows, right? Swing highs before we headed higher. Okay, so We're right in and around the EMAs, the 9 and 21, right? Daily time frame is right in and around there. 4 hours starting to get busy as well. Like I said, looks like weekly showing me that we pull back to go higher. We don't have to come all the way down to EMAs. Don't forget that. Looks like we want to go higher. It looks like we want to go higher, man. Yeah, folks, this could be something. All right, 3 more minutes. Three more minutes. Dollar Tree might go test that 130 level, you know. Um, arm puts, okay. 2 more minutes, guys. Get them stocks in quickly. I'm giving you 2 more minutes. Arm puts, yeah, for sure. For certain. Weekly, nasty. Below the EMA's got a rejection there. Daily time frame, I might need to draw a new level of support. Look at this. 11 red days in a row, right? We got the consolidation, we got the drop. And I think every week that we speak about ARM, we talk about puts, right? ARM is getting killed. 4 hour time frame, selling off, rejecting by the EMAs every single time. Yeah, ARM looks really bleak right now. Let's find a level for ARM. Let's find a level for ARM. Okay. I'm gonna go with this level first. 107. Okay. Send me those stocks. Send me those stocks. We've got 2 minutes left. Send me those stocks. Send me the stocks you want me to break down. This is a great one here. That's my level for Um, my next level will be this reversal spot right here. 98. Okay, which is also where we wicked off here. Send me those stocks. Send me those stocks. Okay. 96.83. Yes. Okay. Yeah, arm puts could be, 107.72, 96.83. Arm puts are good on there. Let's check that DraftKings. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of DraftKings, but the weekly chart has been bullish last few weeks. I do own shares of DraftKings. They're up like 3%. It's not really doing much. Um, yeah, daily time frame. Gosh, it's starting to build up. This was really where you wanted to swing DraftKings. The break above the EMAs with the golden cross and heading higher. Yeah, that's really where you wanted to swing DraftKings. Where you are right now, it's not a bad spot, honestly. It's just doing okay. Kendra bought Google. I have a 320 price target for this week. Okay, this here. Just can't believe I'm about to say this, but Google, yeah, I can believe it. Believe that. 326 is my price target for Google this week. This has been sorry. This has been setting up. So Google, I look at it and I say to myself, let me go on the lower time frames, see what it's like intraday. Okay. Intraday, all right. A bit of consolidation on the hourly, but it does look like we've been pushing, we've been steadily trending higher. 4 hours a little bit weak, but I'm looking at the higher time frames here, and I say to myself, you know what? Google has been on a tear like 4 weeks straight. We finally finished green in the week. Again, like I said to you guys last time, when we pull back, we don't have to go all the way to the EMAs. Like here, we pretty much did. But again, we kind of wicked off. We started to steadily trend higher. So I think Google's bullish. 320 is my price target for this week. I think a $7 run could definitely occur. Google. Alphabet. Yep, it's already up 4 cents. Nothing crazy, but yeah. Eh, I, this one might come down to this one might come down a little bit, a dollar or two, but I think Google goes to 320 to start the year out next year. Affirm. This is my final piece of the puzzle. So the final thought for today is Affirm. Let's start with the monthly chart. Right now, December is going to be a green month for Affirm. After November, October, September was red months, right? We pulled all the way back to the EMAs on the monthly chart. Weekly time frame, we broke out 2 weeks ago, and we pulled back a little bit this past week. Now, daily, you see, hey, we broke out, we hit level of resistance, we got rejected at a previous resistance spot, right, from back in November, sold off. We're consolidating now above the EMAs. We're still above the 921 and the 200, but on the daily time frame, you see, hey, looks like we're starting to set up to come back higher and test these levels. Okay, if a firm gets busy, you could see us go test 79 and then 81. I like the look of this right now. In terms of risk to reward, I like what I see. Down 27 cents right now, but I like what I see in terms of risk to reward. So it's a tricky one because it's a $4 run and we get to that resistance spot. October, again October, November, and December. We've rejected four times at that level. And so again, that would be my price target for it. It is tough because that's like I said, it might get you a nice little 70-80% return, but it doesn't look like we're going to break past that $79 level and really explode out. So yeah, I like what I see. The daily is cool because it's like, again, we broke out, crazy bullish engulfing, golden cross, went to test out my level of resistance there, but we still got rejected at the same area, that same zone that we've been rejecting at multiple times this year. So, folks, that is it. Um, Damn. 99 new messages in casual chit chat. This is crazy. What's going on in casual chit chat? Anyway, folks, I've enjoyed this little bit of, research and, charting and stuff. I would like to encourage you to please chart in your free time. That's how, when sometimes you mention some of these stocks, I already know what's happening because I've looked at them in my free time. But like I said, I'd like to encourage you to just chart in your free time. Focus on doing what's best for you, which is being in the charts, doing a little bit of study session on your own here and there, YouTube, Discord, option pack. If you have the option pack, great. Go back and read it a couple times here and there. If you don't have the option pack, go get it, the usual stuff. But yeah, like I said, please, we're going to a new year. I'm not trying to hit you with no motivational speech, but really, there's goals to be met, right? I hit a lot of my goals this year, not every single one. So next year, my job is to hit every single one, right? And again, I've told you guys, we are all striving for something similar, right? We're trying to get part of that silver and that gold that runs, 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 runs. We don't just want to hit plays every now and then, right? You want to be part of those silvers, those golds, whatever, right? But yeah, just want you guys to know we finished this year strong. We start next year even stronger. That's the aim. So appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed it, say thanks in the chat. And yeah, you guys know the drill. See you tomorrow morning. Thank you guys. Love and peace.